Picture this. You've been nurturing your garden with dedication, following every expert tip you've come across. You've invested in quality soil, maintained proper watering schedules, and even researched the perfect fertilizers. Yet somehow your plants seem to plateau. The tomatoes aren't as robust as you'd hoped, the flowers lack that vibrant pop you see in other gardens, and despite your best efforts, you're battling the same recurring issues season after season. Sound familiar? You're not alone in this frustration. Countless gardeners find themselves caught in this cycle, wondering what crucial element they might be overlooking. The answer isn't found in expensive supplements or complicated feeding regimens. Instead, it's hiding in plain sight, sitting right there in your kitchen pantry. This overlooked ingredient has the power to transform your garden from merely surviving to absolutely thriving, and chances are, you've never considered its potential beyond the kitchen. What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your garden's full potential could be found in a simple, everyday ingredient that costs less than your morning coffee? This isn't about another trendy gardening fad or expensive miracle product. This is about understanding how nature works and giving your plants exactly what they've been craving all along. Molasses, more than just a sweetener for your plants. That sticky dark syrup you might associate with cookies and barbecue sauce is actually one of gardening's best-kept secrets. Molasses, particularly unsulfured blackstrap molasses, is a nutritional powerhouse that your plants have been desperately waiting for. When we think of plant nutrition, we typically focus on the basic NPK formula, but molasses brings something entirely different to the table. This thick, sweet byproduct of sugar refining is loaded with essential minerals that plants absolutely love. We're talking about iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and a host of trace elements that are often depleted in our garden soils. Think of molasses as a multivitamin for your plants, but one that works in harmony with nature rather than forcing artificial nutrients into the system. The magic doesn't stop at mineral content. Molasses contains natural sugars that serve a purpose far beyond simple sweetness. These sugars act as an energy source not directly for your plants but for the beneficial microorganisms living in your soil. This creates a thriving underground ecosystem that fundamentally changes how your plants access and utilize nutrients. When you feed molasses to your garden, you're essentially feeding the soil itself, creating conditions where plants can reach their full genetic potential. The science of sweet growth, how molasses transforms your soil and plants. To understand why molasses works so effectively, we need to dive into the fascinating world beneath our feet. Your soil isn't just dirt, it's a living, breathing ecosystem teeming with beneficial bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. These tiny workers are constantly breaking down organic matter, making nutrients available to plant roots and protecting plants from harmful pathogens. The problem is, they need food to thrive, and that's where molasses becomes absolutely crucial. When you apply molasses to your soil, you're essentially throwing a feast for these beneficial microbes. The natural sugars in molasses provide instant energy, allowing beneficial bacteria to multiply rapidly. This population boom creates what soil scientists call the rhizosphere effect, a zone around plant roots where microbial activity is incredibly high. In this zone, nutrients become more available, soil structure improves, and plants develop stronger, more efficient root systems. This enhanced microbial activity directly translates to stronger plant immunity. Healthy soil microbes produce natural antibiotics and compete with harmful organisms for resources, effectively creating a protective barrier around your plant roots. This means fewer fungal diseases, reduced pest pressure, and plants that can better withstand environmental stresses like drought or temperature fluctuations. It's like giving your plants their own personal security team and nutrition delivery service all in one. The transformation happens remarkably quickly too. Within just a few weeks of regular molasses applications, you'll notice your soil becoming more crumbly and easier to work with. Plant roots will develop more extensively, accessing nutrients and water more efficiently. The result is plants that display improved vigor, deeper green foliage, increased flower and fruit production, and better overall resistance to common garden problems. Practical application, your molasses gardening toolkit. Now that you understand the why behind molasses gardening, let's get into the practical how. The beauty of using molasses lies in its simplicity, but there are specific techniques that will maximize your results. The most effective method is creating a molasses soil drench, which delivers nutrients directly to the root zone where they're needed most. For your basic molasses solution, mix 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsulfured blackstrap molasses into a gallon of water. Make sure the water is at room temperature, as hot water can damage the beneficial compounds you want to preserve. Stir thoroughly until the molasses completely dissolves, creating a light brown solution that looks similar to weak tea. This dilution ratio works perfectly for most garden applications and won't overwhelm your plants or soil microbes. Apply this solution directly to the soil around your plants rather than on the foliage, focusing on the root zone area. For established plants, use about a cup of solution per square foot of soil. Water the area lightly after application to help the molasses penetrate into the soil profile. The best time for application is early morning or late evening when temperatures are cooler and evaporation is minimized. Timing and frequency matter significantly when using molasses in your garden. During the growing season, apply your molasses solution every 2 to 3 weeks for optimal results. If you're dealing with specific problems like poor flowering or slow growth, you can increase applications to weekly for a month, then return to the standard schedule. For newly planted seeds or seedlings, wait until they're established with their second set of true leaves before beginning molasses applications. One common mistake gardeners make is using too much molasses, thinking more will yield better results. This can actually backfire by creating anaerobic conditions in the soil or encouraging harmful bacteria growth. Another pitfall is using sulfured molasses instead of unsulfured varieties. The sulfur content can actually harm beneficial soil microbes, defeating the entire purpose of your applications. Always read labels carefully and stick to unsulfured blackstrap molasses for the best results. Beyond basic soil drenching, molasses can be incorporated into several advanced gardening techniques that experienced gardeners swear by. Compost tea brewing becomes significantly more effective when molasses is added to the mix. The sugars help beneficial microorganisms multiply rapidly during the brewing process, creating a more potent biological fertilizer. Just add 2 tablespoons of molasses to your 5-gallon compost tea brewer and watch the microbial activity explode. For gardeners focused on improving their compost piles, molasses can accelerate decomposition while maintaining proper microbial balance. Dilute 1 tablespoon of molasses in a quart of water and spray it over your compost layers as you build your pile. This feeds the decomposing organisms and helps maintain proper moisture levels throughout the composting process. Seasonal timing can dramatically impact your molasses results. Spring applications should focus on soil preparation and root development, using slightly stronger concentrations as soil temperatures warm and microbial activity increases. Summer applications help plants maintain vigor during heat stress, while fall applications prepare your soil microbes for winter dormancy and ensure strong root systems heading into the cold months. Witness the transformation, real results, and your next steps. The proof of molasses gardening lies in the remarkable transformations you'll witness in your own garden. Plants treated with regular molasses applications consistently show deeper, richer foliage colors due to improved chlorophyll production and nutrient uptake. Root systems become more extensive and robust, allowing plants to access water and nutrients more efficiently during dry periods or nutrient-poor conditions. Flower production typically increases dramatically within 4 to 6 weeks of beginning molasses applications. Tomato plants develop stronger stems, more abundant fruit sets, and improved flavor profiles. Flowering plants produce more blooms with better color intensity and longer-lasting displays. Even struggling plants often show remarkable recovery when molasses applications are combined with proper basic care. The beauty of this approach is that it works with nature rather than against it. You're not forcing artificial growth or, masking problems with synthetic chemicals. Instead, you're creating optimal conditions for plants to express their full genetic potential while building long-term soil health that continues improving year after year. Your garden transformation starts with that first molasses application, but the real magic happens when you commit to consistent use throughout the growing season. Start with a small test area if you're hesitant, but don't be surprised when those test plants quickly outperform the rest of your garden. This simple, affordable ingredient has the power to revolutionize your gardening results, and once you see the difference, you'll wonder why you waited so long to try it. Ready to unlock your garden's true potential? Grab some unsulfured blackstrap molasses from your local store, mix up your first batch and prepare to be amazed by what your plants can really do. Don't forget to subscribe to Smart Garden for more game-changing gardening secrets that will transform your outdoor space into the thriving paradise you've always envisioned. Share this video with fellow gardeners who need to discover this incredible secret. Your garden community will thank you for it.